On a sunny little farm, tucked between golden fields and rolling green hills, there lived a young bull named Benny. Unlike the other bulls who loved to stomp through mud puddles, practice headbutts, and show off their strength, Benny was different. While the others charged around the fields, Benny could often be found lying quietly in the tall grass, his big eyes following butterflies as they fluttered through the breeze. He loved all kinds, yellow ones, blue ones, and his favorite, a purple-winged butterfly he named Whiffle. Benny would spend hours trying to mimic their fluttery dance, softly snorting as he played among the wildflowers. The other animals didn't quite understand Benny. The old pig Wilbur grumbled. Bulls are supposed to be tough, not twirling around after bugs. The geese teased him, saying, "Look at that. Benny's a ballerina." Even Farmer Joe scratched his head and said, "He's the gentlest bull I've ever seen." But Benny didn't mind. He wasn't interested in being the loudest or the strongest. He just followed whatever made his heart feel light and floaty. One morning, news spread across the farm. The Grand Field Festival was coming. There would be games, races, pie-eating contests, and most exciting of all, the Great Bull Parade, where one bull from each farm would march through town as a symbol of strength and pride. All the other bulls immediately started training. They ran laps, lifted hay bales, and snorted at their reflections to look fiercer. But Benny stayed in his favorite meadow, following Whiffle and enjoying the breeze. "Don't you want to be in the parade?" asked a lamb one day, watching Benny chase a butterfly in lazy loops. "I don't think I'm the parade kind of bull," Benny replied with a small smile. But the very next day, something unexpected happened. A strong wind picked up from the hills. Clouds rolled in fast, and a sudden gust sent Whiffle tumbling through the air, flung high above the pasture fence and into the edge of the dark forest. Benny watched in horror as his tiny friend disappeared into the trees. He had never left the farm before. The forest was mysterious and wild, but Whiffle was in trouble. Without a second thought, Benny leapt the fence, something no one had ever seen him do, and galloped into the woods. The trees closed in around him, branches scratching his sides and leaves brushing his ears. He followed the flicker of purple wings until finally he saw her Whiffle, caught in a web between two tree branches, her wings fluttering in fear. Benny stepped closer, took a deep breath, and gently blew her free with a warm puff of air. Just then, a low growl echoed through the trees. Benny froze. Yellow eyes blinked at him from the shadows. It was a wolf. Benny's knees shook, but something inside him stood tall. He had to protect Whiffle. So Benny flared his nostrils, stood as big as he could, and gave the biggest, boldest moo-oo the forest had ever heard. The wolf blinked, startled and ran away. Benny exhaled and watched as Whiffle landed softly on his nose, safe once again. When Benny returned to the farm, mud-splattered and scratched, but proudly holding his head high, the other animals stared in amazement. "You went into the forest? You scared off a wolf?" Even the geese were speechless. Farmer Joe let out a long whistle and said, "Well, I'll be. That bull's got real courage." The next morning, at the Great Bull Parade, everyone gasped when they saw Benny leading the way. Instead of a crown, he wore a garland of wildflowers. Instead of stomping or snorting, he trotted proudly and gently, with Whiffle fluttering above his head. The crowd clapped and cheered, not because he was fierce or wild, but because he had shown bravery, kindness, and a heart full of magic. From that day on, Benny was known far and wide, not just as the bull who loved butterflies, but as the one who proved that being gentle can be powerful too. The end.